What's up everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is a Paper Movies novelization book haul. Now, for those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you know that I'm also part of a group where me and a couple of other guys pick a novelization every month and read it, review it, and discuss it. And that group is known as Paper Movies, a Novelization Book Club. If you're unfamiliar with that, then I'll provide a link in the description below. But like I said, today is a Paper Movies novelization book haul. We're going to start off with Conan the Barbarian. Recently picked this up. This is probably the most expensive novelization that I picked up recently. It is by L. Sprague de Camp and Lynn Carter. I apologize if I mispronounced that first name. Yep, here we go. Conan the Barbarian. Like I said, this is the most expensive novelization that I picked up because it was like around $10, but it's in pretty good condition. These next two, I'd like to thank Matthew from the Geeks Attic. These were actually birthday gifts from him. Sorry guys, but thank you so much, Matthew. First one is a zany movie starring Tim Conway. This story is by Tim Conway, and the book is by Ted Sparks. We have They Went That-A-Way and That-A-Way. I've never seen this film, but I am familiar with Tim Conway. So, again, thank you, Matthew. And also, I'm very excited about this one. And again, thank you to Matthew for this wonderful birthday gift. I've been looking for this novelization for a while. This is the novelization to Mars Attacks, I'm sorry. The novel was by Jonathan Gems, based on his screen story and screenplay. So yeah, it looks like he wrote both the novelization as well as the screenplay. Alright, the next section is going to be, these are all 007 novelizations. I do have a 007 book haul coming soon, but it's not this one, it's going to be later in a few days. But I'm going to get started. Now this one is by Christopher Wood, and this is the novelization, not the original, by Ian Fleming. This is the novelization to The Spy Who Loved Me. I haven't seen this film in a long time. I need to revisit those, especially because I want to do some ranking videos of those on my channel here before long. So, yeah. Christopher Wood, the novelization to The Spy Who Loved Me. Moving on. This one I'd like to thank Jeremy from Stupid Chainsaw Productions. He actually got me this at a bookstore from where he lives. So, Jeremy, thank you. This is by John Gardner, and this one is the novelization to License to Kill. This is the one that starred Timothy Dalton. Like I said, haven't seen it in a long time, but I need to revisit them. So again, thank you so much, Jeremy. Alright, now we're going to be entering the Pierce Brosnan section. A novelization by John Gardner. This one is the novelization to Goldeneye, the very first in the Pierce Brosnan era. And it's based off the screenplay by Michael France and Jeffrey Kane. So, Goldeneye. Moving on, we have a novel by Raymond Benson, based upon the screenplay by Bruce Thierstein. We have Tomorrow Never Dies, the second installment in the Pierce Brosnan Bond era. Next, we have another novel by Raymond Benson, based upon the screenplay by Neil Purvis and Robert Wade. We have The World Is Not Enough. This is film 3 for the Brosnan era Bond films. And last, another novel by Raymond Benson, based upon the screenplay by, again, Neil Purvis and Robert Wade. We have Pierce Brosnan's last film as James Bond. We have Die Another Day. All right. Okay, moving on. This is a novel by Steven Spielberg, now Columbia Picture. We have Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Found this at the bookstore. They were nice enough to clearance this for me. It's probably going to be like around $4 or $5, but since they haven't priced it yet, they gave it to me for $2, so thank you to that bookstore. I found this at a used bookstore in a town that I used to live in. Is where I went to school. We have now a major motion picture by Norman Winsky. We have Sword in the Sorcerer. Have not seen this film, but it looked intriguing. I got it for like $2. So, now this is probably one of the more rare ones that I found. According to my friends, this one's kind of hard to find, so of course I had to pick it up. Now a major motion picture from New Line Cinema, a novel by Martin Del Rio, based on the motion picture written by Kevin Droney. We have the novelization to Mortal Kombat. I have not seen Mortal Kombat. I'm familiar with it. I just haven't seen it yet. So I saw this, and yeah, I'll have to check out the movie now. This one's probably the most interesting novelization that I picked up. I got it for like $3, and I didn't know that this particular film had a novelization. I wouldn't expect it to, being that it is a musical. It is by Ron D. Cristoforo, based on the screenplay by Brant Woodard. Adaptation by Alan Carr, based on the original musical by Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey. Starring John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. We have the novelization to Grease. Like I said, I was not expecting this to be a novelization, being that, it's a musical. Next, we have the novelization to John Carpenter's Starman. Starman was written by Alan Dean Foster, and it's based on the screenplay by Bruce A. Evans and Reynold Gideon. Novelization to Starman. And I've not seen this film either, so I'll have to check all these out. Next, this film I did not know had a novelization, but whenever I discovered that it did, I had to look for it, and I found the cheapest deal that I can find, and it's actually in pretty decent condition for being a used book. But now a major motion picture from New Line Cinema, a novelization by Steve Perry based on the screenplay by Mike Werb. The story by Michael Fallon and Mark Verheiden. It's also based on the comic book. We have The Mask, the famous film starring Jim Carrey. So glad I found this novelization. I actually do enjoy the film, and so I was glad to pick this up. Universal Pictures presents Kevin Costner and Dennis Hopper in the motion picture event of the year, a novel by Max Allan Collins based on the motion picture written by Peter Rader and David Twohy. I'm sorry if Twohy, I think is how it's pronounced. I apologize if I mispronounced it, but we have the novelization to Waterworld. Again, have not seen this film either, so most of these novelizations, I gotta watch the films too, especially if we're going to be, possibly discussing these on paper movies. Now this one, my wife was actually excited about this. She's a big fan of the film, so she said this is probably a novelization that she would actually probably read herself, and she has not read, she loves to read, but she hasn't read very many novelizations, so she said that she would be excited to read this one. The motion picture event of the year, a Universal film starring Dennis Quaid and featuring the voice of Sean Connery, by Charles Edward Pogue. We have, based on his screenplay, we have Dragonheart. Actually found a copy of this a few weeks back, and I showed it to the Geeks Addict, and he was pretty excited about that, so I picked him up a copy as well. So we have Dragonheart. All right, moving on. I've only seen half this film. It looked pretty good from the half that I saw. I just haven't got a chance to finish it yet. But we have now a major motion picture from 20th Century Fox, a novelization by Whitley Strieber based on the motion picture screenplay and story by Roland Emmerich, screenplay by Roland Emmerich and Jeffrey Nachmanoff. We have The Day After Tomorrow. That's kind of looking pretty similar to how Oklahoma is looking right now. The weather's been crazy out here, like snow everywhere. All right, moving on. This is actually a completion, right? This novelization actually completes a collection of Batman novelizations that I've been collecting. But novelization by Michael Jan Friedman, the New York Times bestselling author of Reunion. And from Warner Brothers, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, George Clooney, Chris O'Donnell, Uma Thurman, and Alicia Silverstone. It's based on the screenplay by Akiva Goldsman. We have the novelization to Batman and Robin. Now, I heard that there's actually two different covers to these. I think there's one that just shows both Batman and Robin's logo, like in a red background. But yeah, this one is actually, I believe, one of the movie posters. So yeah, that completes most of my Batman film novelizations. I have, Batman '89, which is what we're going to be discussing in a couple of weeks on Paper Movies. as well as the rest of the series. So yeah. Okay, moving on, we have a story by John Gatness and Dan Gilroy. The screenplay was by Dan Gilroy and Max Borenstein. The novelization was by Tim Levin, and I'm actually going to be reading this and reviewing this soon. We have the novelization to Kong Skull Island. Now, I'll be reading and reviewing this, and to prepare for Godzilla vs. Kong, which is set to come out, I believe, the end of next month in March. So, and I'm actually, they announced that Godzilla vs. Kong is getting a novelization. I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm going to be excited to be getting that soon. Novelization by Dave Stern, based on the screenplay written by Patrick Amassett and John Zinman and Simon West. We have Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Never seen Lara Croft Tomb Raider, never really been a fan of Lara Croft, but I saw it at the bookstore. It was like $2 or $3, so I was just like, what the heck? So I picked it up. Here's another one that I've been very excited to find because I really do love the film. The film starred Liam Neeson. Wasn't too crazy about the sequels, but I do love this film, and I'm so glad that I finally found the book. We have a novel by Randall Boyle, based on a screenplay by Chuck Farrier. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce these names. And Sam Raimi and Ivan Raimi, and Daniel Golden and Joshua Golden. The story was by Sam Raimi. We have the novelization to Dark Man. I love this film. It starred Liam Neeson. I was so excited to hear that it had a novelization. I know that it has like a series of other novels, but this is the one that I've been mostly wanting to find, so I'm so glad that I found it. Now these next few are some novelizations to some Marvel films. I've been wanting to collect as many of the Marvel film novelizations as I can, and I believe I now officially have all of them, and I believe right here is what completed the collection. So starting off, we have a novelization by Peter David, based on the screenplay by Mark Frost and Simon Kinberg and Michael France. And based on the Marvel comic, we have the official novelization to the film Fantastic Four. Now, I do believe that Marvel is currently working on a reboot to the Fantastic Four. It's rumored that might be appearing in the MCU, so I'm excited for that. So yeah, we got Fantastic Four, and also we have the official novelization, the sequel novelization by Daniel Josephs, based on the motion picture, and the screenplay was by Don Payne and story by Mark Frost. Sequel to Fantastic Four, we have the novelization to Fantastic Four 2, The Rise of the Silver Surfer. Wasn't too crazy about that one. I was glad that, they had the Silver Surfer in it, but, the film I remember being kind of so I'll have to go rewatch it again soon. But all right, a novelization by Mel Odom, based on the screenplay written by David S. Goyer. We have the novelization to the film Blade. I've only seen half of the first Blade film. I need to rewatch them, I've seen Blade Trinity, the third one that had Dracula, but I don't remember watching Blade 2. But I have seen a little bit of this one, so I need to revisit those. So, yeah. Blade by Mel Odom. And speaking of which, novel by Natasha Rhodes, based on the motion picture written by David S. Goyer. We have Blade Trinity. Now this one starred Ryan Reynolds as well as Hannibal King. And I did not expect this film to have a novelization, but I'm so glad that it did. So, the official novelization of the film by D.A. Stern, based on the original screenplay by Jonathan Hensley. We have the novelization to The Punisher. This is not the first Punisher film, but this one was the one that starred Thomas Jane. So, yeah. And last but not least, I have not seen this film, but it is technically a Marvel comic, so and it's a novelization to a Marvel comic type film, so I had to collect it. From George Lucas, creator of Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark, a novel by Ellis Weiner, based on a screenplay by Willard Huyck and Gloria Katz. We have Howard the Duck. It's actually in pretty decent condition for being a used book, so yeah. Guys, that is going to complete my novelization book haul. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And also, please remember to go visit the Paper Movies and Novelization Book Club. Again, I'm going to be posting links in the description below. Guys, thank you all so very much, and have a great day.